Hello, welcome back to my channel and to today's video where I am going to be sharing my favourite practical wardrobe essentials for winter. I'm just going to get stuck straight in and I'm starting off with thermals. I know I sound like a broken record because I talk about these around this time of year every year, have done for like the last 5 years, and I've spoken about these ones in particular a lot in my most recent content. But I'm just going to reiterate it, and I'm going to reiterate it very briefly because I did make a dedicated video on Uniqlo's heat tech range, including the thermals, which are my go-to thermals. Now they come in varying levels of warmth, so depending on where you live in the world and how cold your winters are, there is a thermal there for you. And because they are a base layer, they're not only great for wearing as part of your workwear or just your daily outfits, school runs, brunch, lunch, dinners, walks, dog walks, whatever it may be, supermarket runs when you have to go down the freezer aisle and it's very chilly, even in summer. But these are also good for wearing at home. Right, moving on to my practical favourite number 2, and it is the puffer coat. Love them or hate them, there is no denying that puffer coats are top of the list when it comes to warmth. So I have a real favourite when it comes to puffer coats, and my number 1 is definitely the Arket Redown range. In terms of style, no bells and whistles, and this is what I love about Arket. They're very basic, so yes, I know puffer coats aren't the most attractive coats. They're definitely not the chicest coats to wear, but they are practical and they're just basic, which I think is all you need. And the warmth factor is there times 100. It's not a scientific fact, but I'm just trying to emphasize that they are incredibly warm and practical for winter. Now, my second recommendation is Uniqlo. Now, they have a really good down range in the sense that they have got a little bit more variation in comparison to Arket. So they have a few more length options. There's a couple of cropped options this year as well. I think this one is actually one of the more cropped options. And there are also a slightly wider range of colours and some actual colours in comparison to black and the neutrals, which of course I love. So here we've got this really nice kind of jade green colour, and there are some more colour additions on top of that as well. Right, now my next items along the same vein as the puffer coats are the puffer gilet. And these are really useful for just adding that extra dose of warmth to your body, but without bulking out your arms. So these are items which I will wear underneath coats. Not necessarily puffer coats, but definitely any of my wool or cashmere coats. I will use these as an additional layer underneath, but over the top of my knitwear. So I might be wearing a jumper like this, I may layer this over the top and then layer a wool coat over the top of that. And it basically means that you just don't have sausage arms because this padded fabric is just over your body. Now this one that I have here is from Patagonia, which of course is a very well-known outdoors brand. I did buy this pre-loved, brand new with the tags on, and I got this for less than half price. I bought it off Vinted, such a good buy, one of my best Vinted buys. And of course, I'm sure many of you will know that Patagonia is just right up there when it comes to outdoor brands and when it comes to practical garments. They have lots of different sort of technologies within their garments that they've spent years working on. And when it comes to warmth, they really are top of the, not pops, top of the practicality chart. Not really got much of a ring to it, does it? But that's where it is. Right, my next item, again, I keep calling this my not so secret secret. I've been harping on about these for many years now, and it is sheepskin insoles. These things are so valuable when it comes to keeping your feet warm in the winter, especially if you're wearing non-thermal boots. So these I have several pairs of, and I pop them in pretty much all of my footwear, whether it be trainers, I have a pair in my wellies, I have some in some of my just normal day-to-day boots like my Chelsea boots, and they just add, well, first of all, they add a really nice soft, you can probably see in my side camera here how thick and sumptuous they are. And of course they will flatten, so that's another note with regards to needing to size up in your boots. Don't size up too much because these will compact as you wear them. But they are so soft, so they add almost a layer of cushioning underneath your foot, as well as being incredibly insulating. And if you're wearing these with a pair of thermal socks, which I may also have coming up, that is double the warmth on your feet. Which leads me on to thermal socks. So I have two options here. I have one of my go-to pairs of socks, which, yes, you guessed it, is from Uniqlo and is from the Heattech range. I have so many pairs of these socks. They are my daily socks for just wearing around the house. They're my daily socks for dog walking. They are my daily socks for wearing in boots and trainers and whatever kind of footwear I am wearing. I love them. They keep my feet nice and toasty and warm. They're thick, but not too thick, thicker than your sort of average cotton pair of socks. A similar sort of thickness to maybe a pair of sports socks, but they really do keep my feet warm. However, they are synthetic. So my second recommendation would be wool socks, and I have these here from a brand called Colourful Standard. These are 100% recycled merino wool. And again, thickness wise, it's actually very similar to these, but they are 100% natural fibres. So if that's something that's important to you, I would highly recommend these socks. They are nice and toasty and warm. They're actually almost identical in terms of style. They have this ribbed style, very similar in length, but these also come, if you're familiar with Colourful Standard, the clue is kind of in the name. They're all about lots of different colours. Okay, staying with the feet area, and my next item is snow boots. Now, we do not get snow every single year in winter. Last year, I think we had it for a couple of days, but weirdly, we had it in December last year, whereas normally it would be either January or February, which are our coldest months of the year. So snow-wise, we don't get a lot. We certainly don't get anywhere near as much as what areas in the rest of Europe or Canada or even states in the States do. However, we do get colder temperatures, and I am not one that deals with the cold particularly well. Frost, ice, all that kind of stuff. Oh, I just hate it. And I have got zero tolerance for cold feet. If I've got cold feet, I'm just going to be absolutely miserable, and I'm not going to be an enjoyable person to be around. So therefore, I know that they don't look the most attractive pair of boots in the world, but snow boots are such an important addition to my wardrobe, and I wore these so much throughout January and February last year. Right, my next item is moving on to hands, and it is thermal gloves, but with the caveat of them being touchscreen. Now, I actually left mine in the car, and Simon's taken the dogs off for a walk, so we'll have to include them in the cutaways. But I did recently share with you guys in the dedicated Heattech video a pair of Uniqlo gloves from the Heattech range, which are touchscreen compatible. And we'll probably share the same clip in this video just to share with you guys how compatible they are when I am using my phone. Undeniably, we live in a world of technology. We are all on our phones a lot of the time. Just daily life revolves around being on phones, I think, whether we are texting a loved one or a friend, if we're meeting them or letting them know we've arrived somewhere, using the maps for navigation, using an app, a banking app or something else. We're just constantly on our phones. And when it does get to the coldest time of year, the last thing I want to do when I'm outside is take my gloves off. So they are practical, they are warm, and they are compatible with our technology-driven way of life. We all need a good hat. Now, this is my personal recommendation. It will not be new to those of you who are regulars because I harp on about these hats. in pretty much every winter related video, and they are the Arket beanie hats. I have these in several colours. They come in currently, I think, about 12 or 13 colours. Each year they bring out maybe colours that are a little bit more on trend, like this is one that was new from this year, which is a nice burgundy colour. And they are just the best beanie hats. And what I like about these is that they're a little bit chunkier, so they don't make me feel like I've got a pea head. The fabric which goes around the band turn up is actually double layer, so you can fold that twice and it gives a nice chunky band around the head, which not only adds additional warmth to areas like the ears, but just chunks out the hat a little bit more, so you don't get that sort of pea head condom vibe. I don't know why I'm whispering that, but just for those of you that have got kids that's like, Mummy, what's a condom? Sorry. And finally, I am on to neckwear. So my recommendation is not a scarf, it's actually a snood, because this is a practical winter essentials video, not just winter essentials. And the practicality of a snood is that it's so much less bulky than a scarf. You don't have the scarf tails, which you've got to figure out how you're going to tie them. Then if you just do the classic throw one tail over your shoulder, it's windy and it blows off. You've got to tuck it under your bag. It's just a faff. Now, don't get me wrong, I have plenty of scarves and I do love my scarves, but in terms of practicality, warmth, and just ease of wearing, it is a snood all the way. And if we go back to my practical tips video where I suggested that you take a larger bag so that you don't forget things, this is much smaller as well, so it's not going to take up too much room in your bag once you've taken it off. And there we go. That concludes my personal favourite practical wardrobe essentials for winter. If there's anything that you would like to add on to my list, or perhaps you have a specific recommendation for any of the items or categories that I featured in today's video, you know what to do. Head down to the comments and join in with this lovely community that we have built up here on this channel. But for now, that's it from me. Happy holidays. Thank you as always for watching, and I will see you next time.